Hey guys, we got a little bit of a sort of a rain delay right now before we get back into getting my soybeans planted. Although right now there's supposed to be more rain coming in this evening, but right now I don't think we've gotten enough here to really slow anybody down because a lot of rain came through, but the system seemed to split and either go north of us or south of us. But anyway, I still need to get the drill calibrated, so I'm gonna go through the process that I do to set the drill, because I do not have a manual for this drill. I've never been able to find one. This is a McCormick Model MF drill. It's a Model M drill that has fertilizer on it. That's the F part of the model. So I don't have a manual, and it has this chart, which is the fertilizer. But the other chart for seed recommendations is gone. So this is how I go about setting without a manual. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is my target population is 170,000 seeds per acre. It's a little higher than what most people around here go, but I'm using an old drill with worn out openers on it, so I'd rather throw a few extra seeds out there. It's not going to hurt my bottom line that much. Anyway, I need to look at the tag, and of course I picked a bag that has the thread right through the weight. But look at the net weight of your seed, and for 140,000 seeds, we get 51.56 pounds. So we need to figure our weight of the total seed we're going to plant per acre. So to get that, I took 51.56 divided by, let's see if I can do this. There's the glare there. 51.56 divided by 140,000. Okay, so in theory that's the weight of one soybean, and then multiply that number times your population, so times 170,000. So that gives me 62.6085 pounds per acre. So that's my target weight per acre. Excuse me, I'm trying to work here. Okay, the next part of your equation is your row spacing. This is a 7-inch space, or there's 7 inches between the rows on this drill. It's a 13 row drill. And this has the fluted style seed meters in it, which are not ideal for soybeans, but they do work. They tend to crack a few seeds, which is another reason why I aim a little higher for my population. But you know, we work with what we have. But like I said, this is a 7-inch drill. I block off every other row in here, and I just use duct tape for that, and it's worked fairly well. But that gives me a row spacing of 14 inches. Which 15 is the most commonly used in our area, so I guess it's a peer pressure thing, but I've had good luck with it in the past, so that's what we're going to do again there. Okay, so the last number you need is the circumference of your tire in feet. So first you measure it and then you convert the inches that are left over into decimal feet. So like if it was 7 feet 9 inches, you would be 7.75 feet. So that, yeah, we need to know that number. Okay, so my tire circumference measured out to 7.461 feet per, so that's how far it will roll per one revolution. I'm going to do my test by turning the tire 20 revolutions, so that is going to cover, in theory, 149.225 feet. So that is the quote-unquote length of our test run. And then this drill, because it has dual drives on it, but because it's got an odd number of rows, one row or one side is driving one more row than the other. So one of my tests is going to be on 4 rows, the other is going to be on 3. So now now you take your distance that we're going to travel, 149.225. We're going to multiply that times, or we're going to multiply that times, wait a second here. Let me get my head screwed on straight. Okay, what I meant to say here was we're going to take our rows, or the width between our rows, which is 14 inches. And I actually don't have this written down on here, but we're going to multiply that by 4 and convert it to feet. So 14 times 4 equals 56 inches divided by 12 is 4.66 feet times 149.225, and that's where, yeah, 696.383. So that's where this number comes in. So that's the total number of square feet that 4 rows is going to plant in that distance. And then divide that by the number of square feet in an acre, which is 43,560. You come up with 0.016 acres. So you multiply that times the number of pounds of seed per acre that you're going to put on. So those 4 rows should put out basically 1 pound of seed in 20 revolutions. And we'll do the same thing with our 3 rows, which it comes out to 522.2875 square feet, 0.012 acres, and I want to see 0.75 pounds of seed from those 3 rows. Okay, so I've got a bag of seed put in, and then under the drill I've got a piece of plastic laid out on the floor, and I've got this end, I've got the tire got the drill jacked up enough that I can spin the tire so the tire's off the ground. And the reason why I always do the right side tire, because to make it easier to spin, I put a ratchet and a socket on one of the lug nuts, and that way as I'm turning it, I'm tightening the nut rather than loosening the nut. So that's why I do the right side. Okay, so now we're ready to make sure that the feeds are all full and basically primed. So I'm going to engage the drive. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the wheel a couple turns and make sure I've got beans coming out all of my drops. And then I'll clean that up, and then I'll be ready to make my first test run. I need more junk in here. Okay, so I see beans there. See some beans there. There's some beans there. And there. And it's dark, but you'll just have to trust me. I can see beans everywhere. So we'll clean those up and then we'll make our test run. Okay, we're ready for our first official test run. Okay, so there's 20 turns. So we'll pick up all the soybeans and we'll weigh them and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so we got our beans picked up. Now this is the side that had 4 drops. So our target was 1 pound. We are at 1.33 pounds. Sorry, that's fuzzy. So we need to adjust that a little lower. We'll check the other side, make sure that it is similar, and we'll make our adjustments, or make our first adjustment, and then basically it's just process of trial and error for the rest of this until you get it where you want it to be. I think you can hear the rain outside. Anyway, we're going to make an adjustment. This has 2 different adjusters on it, one for each end. So there's a nut on the bottom side here. Loosen that up, and then going to the left reduces your seed rate, going to the right increases it, so we want to make it a bit less. That line was where I had it set for planting wheat at one time, and last time I planted wheat with it, I had it over here to pour on a lot more seed because I was trying to use it up, or use up some older seed. But I don't remember, apparently I forgot to put a reference mark for where I had this set for beans last year. So, as I said, this is, finding the sweet spot is just a matter of trial and error. Hopefully within a couple tries we'll have it dialed in where we want it. Well guys, that's basically the process I use for calibrating the drill, even without a manual. Even if you do have a manual though, going through this is a good way to double check, because usually the book will say that the settings in there are starting points to set from, but they're not always going to be completely accurate because of so many variations, like the size of the seed and things like that. So, but I want to end this. We got bad news yesterday. If you watch Scott's Small Farming and Things, that his son Stephen posted a video yesterday that Scott had passed away on Tuesday. And I For a guy I'd never met in person, that hit me really hard. Scott was actually the very first person that I got a notification about who subscribed to my channel. And I hadn't even posted a video yet. So I don't really know why he did it. But I always appreciated the kind things he had to say, and his encouragement. And Stephen, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I really appreciated your dad, and just the hilarious person that he was. But I want to read this for Scott. This is 1 Thessalonians 4, 13 through 18. Paul says, "Brothers, we do not want you to be ignorant about those who fall asleep, or to grieve like the rest of men who have no hope. We believe that Jesus died and rose again, and so we believe that God will bring with Jesus those who have fallen asleep in him. According to the Lord's own word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left till the end of the world, or till the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. After that, we who are still alive and are left will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage each other with these words." I can't imagine how hard it is what you guys are going through right now. But we know that Scott loved the Lord. He trusted Jesus for his salvation with all his heart, and he was very open about that in his videos. And we know that we can say that this is goodbye for now, but it's not goodbye forever. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good one.